politicians and career politicians. Can we really trust them?
We will not fight a war against Russia in Ukraine.
Oh, broke that promise already, didn't he? Why is it that many of our leaders here in the US and around the world keep breaking their promises? Isn't that a big red flag? There's a possibility that things could go all nukesy on us, especially with Joe Biden, the US/NATO, and Russia/Putin being so heated with one another. Now, leaders like Sleepy Joe saying things like,
we will not fight a war against Russia in Ukraine.
Then our government and him sending us to war with Russia totally warrants trust, right? Here we are engaged in another war. Also, if you happen to pay attention to the main reasons why we happen to get into most modern wars, there are things like money, power, control, and sales/growth of conglomerate arms dealers. They generally happen to be under some sort of guise, which happens to be a noble/moral cause. But then it ends up turning out to be for one or more of the reasons we just listed. Kind of like how the whole war in the Middle East started underneath the Bush administration. Under that administration, the US invaded an independent, sovereign nation under the guise of fighting the man responsible for 9/11 and terrorism, which we later found out that Saddam Hussein was not responsible for that. We killed over 70,000 plus innocent civilians, in addition to arms dealers' profits skyrocketing. Does it really sound like a just and noble cause there? Not to mention the huge invasion of privacy that came with the millions of dollars that big tech/the government made from the surveillance technology that was implemented during this time, which was meant to prevent terrorism. It's been proven that it hasn't really, and these policies that have been just accepted as normal or everyday life now have been here for over 2 decades now. Could have stopped things like the Boston Marathon bombing, except there's even like intelligence that showed that we had information to prevent 9/11 from happening. But did we? No. We knew that fucking Saddam Hussein could hijack planes, and that he actually did, and we knew that he ran planes into fucking buildings and shit in other places. Just saying. You know what else is fucked up? The fact that you guys aren't subscribed yet to the channel. Go and hit it if you aren't already. Give us a like. It really does help us out, in addition to getting this information further out there to people, so we can, you know, put the real questions out there and let others know it's okay to think independently and to question things like this. But with that being said though, my dudes, let's go and hop back into the video. We want these people in positions of power that we're supposed to elect to be clear whenever they're in office, right? But it really doesn't seem like they are they? Hard to expect anything else from career politicians, right? Just lies. Also, something funny. Weren't we taught to never trust career politicians in school? Yet, what are most people that are out there doing? Blindly trusting career politicians. A bit ironic, isn't it?
We will not fight a war against Russia in Ukraine.
It is widely acknowledged that US and NATO officers are now fully involved in Ukraine's operational war planning, aided by a broad range of US intelligence gathering and analysis to exploit Russia's military vulnerabilities. While Ukrainian forces are armed with US and NATO weapons and trained up to the standards of other NATO countries. On October 5th, Nikolai Patrushev, the head of Russia's Security Council, recognized that Russia is now fighting NATO in Ukraine. Meanwhile, President Putin has reminded the world that Russia has nuclear weapons and is prepared to use them, in quotes, when the very existence of the state is put under threat, as Russia's official nuclear weapons doctrine declared in June of 2020. That kind of seems like war doesn't it? And one that could become very easily nuclear. So damn fucking right that me and other people are worried about who goes into office, or even who's in it. It seems likely that under that doctrine, Russia's leaders would interpret losing a war to the United States and NATO on their own borders as meeting the threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. Pretty hard to see these warnings and pretty grave consequences of this whole situation, right? That would mean that the US/NATO instigated World War III. That's what's going on right now. That leads to millions, if not billions, of innocent lives being lost because of this bullshit. Yet the mainstream news/media seems to be focusing more on distracting everyone with more insignificant election things versus this specific problem, which is really important. Not focusing on this particular problem and how elected officials could fix it, or potential elected officials could, but more on things like how Fetterman is doing better than expected and how DeSantis is apparently the new Trump. That's pitting people against each other and distracting us from the main topic. None of that really makes things better. And again, it brings up the question, how can we trust these other fuckers? Won't the same stuff still happen? President Biden acknowledged on October 6th that Putin is, in quotes, not joking, and that it would be difficult for Russia to use a tactical nuclear weapon and not end up with Armageddon. Interesting. Yet, despite voicing the possibility of an existential threat to our survival, Biden was not issuing a public warning to the American people and the world, nor announcing any changes in U.S. policy. Bizarrely, the president was instead discussing the prospect of nuclear war with his political party's financial backers during an election fundraiser at the home of media mogul James Murdoch, with surprised corporate media reporters listening in. Okay. Biden assessed the danger of a full-scale nuclear war as higher than at any time since the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. Nothing to report on there. It's just more political leaders. We don't have anything to report on there. No, not one bit. Let them continue egging on nuclear war and break promises like almost every other politician in history.
We will not fight a war against Russia in Ukraine.
It's not like having career politicians do that will end badly or anything. Nah, not one bit. In an NPR report about the danger of nuclear war over Ukraine, Matthew Bunn, a nuclear weapons expert at Harvard University, estimated the chance of Russia using a nuclear weapon at 10 to 20%. How have we gone from ruling out direct US and NATO involvement in the war to US involvement in all aspects of the war except for the bleeding and dying, with an estimated 10 to 20% chance of nuclear war? That's a pretty decently percentage likelihood. That's fucked up what they're doing. It's manipulation. It's what narcissists commonly do. It's one of their methods or techniques that they have. They play the hero and then take out any information in their stories that might make anybody else seem otherwise. And then what do? They sit there and try to censor out anybody that calls them out or tries to, prove how they're wrong. They censor them. How can we really trust these career politicians, or for a lot of people, politicians in general, when they often tend to do things like this? Whenever they lie, they either try to cover it up until it gets out, or in some cases even take them out, if it's like China, just for simply trying to say the truth because it happens to expose all their shitty things that they've done or are doing. I feel like it's pretty easy to see how someone could get distracted if they were uninformed and they were getting blasted by the mainstream news every day, if not damn near, with all this midterm election stuff and the analysis of it. However, the main bit that we really all should be focusing on is the consequences of the US/NATO escalating this war, which we're seemingly not a part of, with Russia, which poses threats if they lose on their own border with 6,000 nuclear warheads. Not things like, oh, DeSantis, he's the next Trump, or oh, look at Fetterman over there, he's overcoming things. That's the importance of we don't need to worry about nuclear war or anything like that. It's not like it poses an immediate threat to all of us and could potentially, annihilate our whole planet or anything. No, not one bit. Again, how can we trust these career politicians that are coming into office or are already in power positions when it seems like they generally just break promises to their people or are doing things like this, egging on? What are your guys' opinions, though? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if you guys think we can truly trust the majority of these politicians out there or the career politicians. Because, obviously individuals deserve a chance. Not every politician is bad, right? Now, if you guys did make it to the end of this video, go ahead and leave the word nuclear in the comment section down below to let me know that you made it to the end and that you guys are part of the 100% Club. Now, if you guys want a more interactive experience, join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Time for more talks like this, dark humor, conspiracies, memes on things like this, and just all around good vibes. We play Pokemon Unite a couple times a week. We'll be switching over to playing some Pokemon Scarlet and just, being laid back and chill. Also, if you guys want to, feel free to join our Discord tribe, the Z Tribe. We do movie/weeb night every other Friday. We just did it recently and watch things like anime, cartoons, TV shows, movies. We can do documentaries on conspiracies and stuff like that too, which I'd love to do. I'm currently watching one on how Hitler didn't actually kill himself. It's from the History Channel. It's pretty fucking good. So a lot of evidence that proves it too. And yeah, so if you guys want to have stuff like that or just, want to have a more chatty experience with us, go ahead and check that out. We also do share some dark humor, memes, philosophical chats, spiritual ones, etc. All that inside the Z Tribe Discord. But yeah, check it out. I'll leave a link for the Discord in the description box below. And guys, check out our streams. It's just on Twitch or here on YouTube as well. For this channel particularly. And also feel free to check out my survival channel if you guys want to learn how to be independent of these systems we live in and just learn how to survive out in the wilderness and eventually get yourself to a place where you can thrive. So yeah. Take out the soda, please, Sam. Thank you to all 115 badass motherfuckers of this Z Tribe here on YouTube. I do appreciate you guys very much. And again, I hope you enjoyed the content. Please don't forget to, hit that like and or subscribe button. Really does help us get up there in the algorithm and helps to let others know that it's okay to question these systems that we live in and to pose questions like, how can we trust these people, All they do is seemingly break promises and not really help us. But yeah, I appreciate you guys either way, though. Until next time, though, my dudes, please don't forget to live long and prosper. Take care and peace. Keep it 1,000,000% real. And remember, fuck the system. I'll see you guys on the flip side.